All right, so the new Marvel Snap season is out, and with it comes Modok, this obnoxiously broken card, and that's kind of what I want to talk about in this video today. Feels like Marvel Snap has shown their true colors when it comes to the monetization strategy. Those true colors being just make every season card obnoxiously busted and force people into feeling like they have to buy it. If you play Marvel Snap seriously, you bought Silver Surfer or you bought Zabu. You had to. If you're one of the few people that hit Infinite last season without buying either of those two cards, congratulations. But honestly, if you want to be competitive at all, you need those cards. Modok looks like it's going to be no exception. Its effect is completely busted. Discard your entire hand. It's got 8 power itself, which isn't bad. If I look into my crystal ball right now, I can already see a future where Modok gets its power reduced. And like 8 is a lot. Maybe even increased. Increase it to 9 so that Shang-Chi can kill it. That would actually be a decent nerf too. But 8 power is the sweet spot. It's really strong. If you haven't seen online any of the footage that shows how strong it is, this card is really, really strong with Swarm, Apocalypse, and Morbius specifically. It's Morbin time, guys. Morbius is getting big at the moment. You know, you play this after a Wong, you discard all of your swarms, the swarms duplicate, you discard all of your swarms again. Morbius is getting huge. Final turn, you can play all of your swarms, preferably into a Lockjaw, which is going to allow you to pull out more of the discarding card, which discards more cards, which makes Morbius even bigger. It combos well with She-Hulk, it combos well with Helidex, it combos well with Strong Guy even, if you want to go a slightly different route than the swarms. There's a lot of utility here with this card, and Modok is here to stay, and it is going to dominate this season. But let's go backwards through the last few season cards to see if I'm exaggerating about how strong these things are. Zabu was last month's season card, and it completely redefined the meta. Suddenly, Spider-Man, Moon Girl, Darkhawk were everywhere, completely out of control, and it was always going to be. Mana cheat, card discounts, they are very strong. Sarah was already strong. This card is Sarah on steroids. Yes, there's the limitation that it only works on 4-cost cards, but if we take a look at the 4-cost cards in Marvel Snap, there's a lot of them, and a lot of them that see play frequently. Absorbing Man, Dracula. Okay, not Drax, but Drax started to get popular because of Zabu. Enchantress, Ghost Rider, Hellcow, Jubilee, Kazar, Mr. Negative, Moon Girl, Omega Red, Rescue, Rockslide, Shang-Chi, Shuri, Spider-Man, Warpath, Typhoid Mary, Jubilee. I think I said Jubilee twice. They're all 4-drops, and Zabu was insane with all of them. Zabu is so strong, I believe that it is getting, I think it's confirmed getting nerfed imminently, and frankly, I think that it needs that. Although the problem is, you're going to upset people that paid the money expecting to get a certain card and expecting to keep that certain card. If Zabu suddenly gets nerfed, some people are going to protest that they paid literally £10 for Zabu as it was, only to get that taken away from them. It's a disturbing precedent, and one that Second Dinner is going to have to be very careful about, especially as they're probably going to have to nerf the previous month's season pass too. Silver Surfer is one of the best cards in Marvel Snap. You can't even argue that that's not the case. I previously loved Ironheart. Ironheart was one of my favorite cards. You just can't justify playing Ironheart anymore when Silver Surfer exists and is objectively better in 80% of cases. Ironheart buffs 3 of your units, gives them 2 power each. So one Ironheart play is capped at 6 power gained. You play Silver Surfer, all of your 3-cost cards gain 3 power. All of them. If you've played one Brood, this gives you 9 extra power on the board instantly. There are quite a few other 3-drops that have been benefiting from Silver Surfer. You mentioned Brood, but Coulson, Captain America, Bishop, Cosmo, Bree, Electro, Groot, Kingpin, Juggernaut, Lockjaw, Maximus, Mystique and Patriot, Polaris and Rogue, Storm, Thor, Wolfsbane. These are examples of cards that have benefited from Silver Surfer's existence. A lot of them cards that were already strong that just got so much stronger. And I don't know about you guys, but for me personally, I'm at the point now where every time my opponent plays Brood, I vomit in my mouth a little bit. That was extreme. I really hate the Brood Silver Surfer interaction. It just feels unfair every time it comes down. And it's not fun to play against. I believe it's been pretty much confirmed that Zabu and Silver Surfer are going to get nerfed. And these are two just dangerous situations for Second Dinner to be in. What about the previous season pass card though? They weren't all broken, were they? Well, I think they were. Black Panther was the season card before Silver Surfer, unless I'm missing one. I don't think I am. And this card was completely busted. Played with Shuri, played with Wong, played with Odin, played with Arnim Zola, played with Taskmaster. This card spawned some disgusting decks, and I think it pretty much single-handedly brought Cosmo into the meta in order to counter him. Now, Black Panther isn't so broken currently that it feels like it needs to be nerfed, but the only reason for that is that it doesn't feel that strong anymore because progressively, the season cards have gotten even stronger than that. Silver Surfer is stronger than Black Panther, and Zabu, if you can believe it, is stronger than Silver Surfer. Where does Modok fit into this equation? I don't know just yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's stronger again. Time will tell, and we'll see how the meta forms around this card. But like, how do you counter a huge Dracula in one lane, a huge Morbius in another lane, and this in the third lane? Like, what do you do about that? I guess you just play big things yourself and try to beat the stats. Now, we've discussed how it's the season cards that seem to be really, really powerful, but now let's compare the season cards to the other cards that have been released recently in Series 5 and see if any of those are obnoxiously broken like Zabu, Silver Surfer, and Modok seem to be. First was Null, and I have always had the belief that Null just kind of sucks actually. It's weak to Shang-Chi, it's weak to Rogue, and you have to spend all 6 energy to play the card. I believe that in decks where Null shines, like Galactus, it's just worse than Death. Certainly not a must-buy. Then there was Darkhawk, which yes, is extremely strong, but it's only really strong because of Zabu. As a 4-cost card, it's not that bad. Again, it's weak to Rogue, it's weak to Shang-Chi, and you do have to play other cards in your deck to make this good, like Rockslide, Korg. Don't get me wrong, the card's good, like it's probably slightly above average in terms of power without Zabu, but it's Zabu that makes this card obnoxious. So while this is really a must-own if you want to play competitive Snap over the last month, it's only a must-own because of Zabu. Then, and I apologize if I'm missing any here, there was Sentry, which I've only ever seen used against me like once. I just think the card is just not that interesting. Big powerful thing in one location, big negative powerful thing in another location. You can play it with Viper, great. I think this type of strategy needs a little bit of help before this card actually becomes playable. After Sentry was Sauron, which actually is on the stronger side of cards for sure. This is one that I definitely considered getting, and does seem to have an archetype of decks that it works well in. Still no Zabu or Silver Surfer though. Shanna came out, and frankly, it's one of the most boring cards that I've seen released in Marvel Snap since Series 4, Series 5 was announced. Add a random 1-cost card to each location, this isn't going to win anyone any games. Yeah, you can play it with Kazara if you want, fine. Dazzler looks slightly better on the surface, but again, I guess it's a little unrealistic to have all of your locations full. I guess in theory it could work with Zabu, and apparently it does work with Galactus, though if you're playing Galactus, I don't really think Dazzler is the card that you want to be providing 10 power when there's cards like Death, etc. Also, when you fulfill its condition, it's only 2 more power than Mojo, and Mojo just has to have that location be full for it to work. Mojo also costs 2 less. Yeah, Dazzler's way understated when you think about it that way. When you compare this card to Mojo, it really makes it look trash. And then finally, the Shadow King, which I think has been the biggest disappointment when it comes to cards yet. I misread the card at first. I thought that it set all cards to their original base power, not just cards at this location. But this only affecting cards at this location, it's not good. Even with Zabu, this card is too weak. Anyway, in conclusion, Season Pass cards on average are way more powerful than the cards that have come out since. And yeah, I'll address the elephant in the room real quick. Miles is a Season Pass card, and Miles kind of sucks. But this was like the first season when the game came out. It was such a long time ago, I don't even know if I can count talking about that in the video, as new precedent has been set since. Anyway, what do I think about this? Does it matter that the Season Pass cards are stronger than the other cards? Well, I guess in a way it's a good thing. If you're happy to spend the $10 to buy the Season Pass every month, at least you know you're going to be able to, for the most part, do the most powerful thing in the game. That is fair. It does bring in an element of pay to win, but it's like a fair pay to win where it's like, you know that you can pay X money to get exactly Y reward, and in this case Y reward is the strongest thing in the game. However, what about those people that don't want to buy the Season Pass every month? What about kids or teenagers that don't have the money, or adults who just can't possibly justify spending the rest of their hard-earned wages on Marvel Snap? And I guess to those people, you're out of luck. If this is the model that Second Dinner want to do, if they want to make sure that the Season Pass card is absolutely must own every month and you're not going to have a chance in the game without it, then yeah, those people are going to suffer. Personally, I don't mind paying for the Season Pass every month. I decided months ago that I'm going to do that, and I will continue doing that for as long as I'm playing the game as much as I am now. It just doesn't bother me. In fact, I prefer the system being like this. If the new completely broken cards coming out every month were completely unattainable because they were locked away in Series 5, then yeah, for me personally, that would suck a lot more. Generally, it would be great if card acquisition across the board was a lot easier in Marvel Snap. And BentBro did allude to card acquisition becoming easier for those of you that are still in Series 3 along the line.
Feedback from the community about how they'd love for these cards to feel more accessible to players who are still in Series 3, and so we are now brainstorming ways to make that happen, and we're excited to share more about that once we have some concrete plans.
But for now, Marvel Snap just isn't a game where you can get all of the things, but you can get the most powerful things by buying the season pass. And it looks like that's how it's going to be for a long time. We'll have to wait and see how they deal with balance changes when they do eventually realize, oh yeah, these season cards are overtuned, we need to take them down. Will people that spent money on the season pass because they wanted them as powerful card and have that taken away from them, will they get any recourse? Time will tell. But for now, that's all I've got to talk about today. Thank you for watching. A huge thank you to my Patreons. This video would not have been possible without you. If you watch all of my videos, do consider joining them and supporting me. Currently, I'm releasing more of these quicker to make, straight to the point, talking with very little editing videos, because to be frank and honest with you guys, I don't make any money from the ones where I spend weeks and weeks on it, or they don't do better enough compared to videos like this for me to justify making too many more of them or prioritizing them. I still gonna make those. They'll just be a little less frequent, but hopefully when they come out, you'll really like them. Subscribe if you haven't done so already. Every like really helps. I'll see you in the next one.